Yeah, this is Tenryushi, where I practiced Zen training for 15 years. I like Zen practice in winter. A little bit snowy. This is the famous garden designated as a national Sekai-san.
World Heritage.
Yes, yes, thank you. I used to sit zazen at midnight here, facing the pond, completely silent. This is zazen. This is not me. This is zazen. This is very famous paintings drawn by the Sesshu, priest painter. Okay, Eka Dampis. Here's Eka. This is Bodhidharma facing the wall. According to the legendary of Zen Buddhism, Bodhidharma, the founder of Zen Buddhism, traveled from India to China, spending more than 3 years. And he was disappointed at the dialogue with Emperor Bu and moved to Shorinji Temple. This is the cave of Shorinji Temple, where he sat zazen alone for 9 years without seeing anyone and accepting any disciples. Sesshu depicted this famous scene, the climax of this legend. One day, a military man named Eka made a visit to Bodhidharma in order to become a disciple of him. He continued standing in the snow. No matter how earnestly he appealed to Bodhidharma, he never looked back. Finally, Eka cut off his arm with his sword, which made Bodhidharma turn round to Eka. This scene is followed by a famous dialogue about easing the mind. For 9 years, Bodhidharma sat zazen alone, facing the wall, and waited for a man to whom transmit the Dharma. This is a very famous koan story indicating the origin of Zen. I do not deny the popularization of Zen. Internet communication might be useful for expanding the horizon of Zen. However, in order to do so, it is essential to maintain the mountain of Zen more steep and stable. Mountain peak should tower up higher. And its forest must be deep. Otherwise, it cannot afford and accommodate many creatures living at the broad foot of the mountain. ちょうど2分分ぐらいか。Very sorry. Very sorry. Japanese people know very well. I always suffer from running nose during giving lecture. Very sorry. So I would say it's a very good chance for those who seek for the traditional Rinzai Zen, because I'm here in UK. It is historically unusual that the traditional Zen master like me lives in the West for years. There are so many Western people who wish to go to Japan to practice Zen training at Zen temple, Zen monastery. I know some lucky and privileged Westerners who are at the moment practicing Zen training at the Zen temple in Japan. But for most of the people, it's quite difficult to quit their jobs and go all over to Japan to practice Zen training. In a sense, my presence could be good news for them. Eka looked for the Dharma, cutting down his arm at the risk of his life. If you are seeking for something, come to my room and let's sit together. I'm always here for you and be with you. This is my prayer. Prayer, not play. Prayer. As a Zen monk and medical practitioner as well. Thank you very much for your attention.